Hello, guys.
Hello, how are you? Hello. Who wants the first question? Jeff?
So you're not the only person from Australia here now. What is that like? Obviously, there's not a ton of Aussies in the NBA. Now there's two big men on the same team. What's that been like so far?
Who are you talking about? You're not talking about Steve.
Yeah.
Steve is not Australian. Did he try and claim that he was Australian? Same part of the world, but yeah, not Australian. No way. Yeah, I mean, playing with Steve is awesome. Had the opportunity to kind of get to know him properly last year. Lossie was, obviously in and out with injury and all of that, but a fantastic bloke to have around the locker room and just to have around in general. We kind of get along like a house on fire, so it's been really enjoyable to hang out a bunch. Yeah, but not Australian. Don't give him that. Don't give him that.
Jackson?
I may be wrong, but Jack McVay is also here.
Correct.
So what's it like being teammates with Jack McVay? Because he is Australian.
Yes. Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty rare.
Ask him all the hard questions you guys asked me, okay?
All right, hang on. Let
Ask
me
him
read
about the
them.
Olympics.
How was Turkey? Because you're going to go do a second trip, right?
I went to visit Albie. It was, my teammate.
Yeah,
support
that's what I meant.
All right, Doctor.
See ya. Yeah, having Jack's awesome. It's the first time I've had an Aussie teammate in the NBA, I believe. I'm trying to think now. Yeah, it would be, and I've missed a few of them by like a year or two. So having Jack around's been really cool. He's a great guy. I had the opportunity to play with him in the Olympics. It's one of those guys who never has a bad day. Like, so much so that it's like, come on, man, like, come back down to earth with the rest of us. But he's an awesome bloke, great character, great player, has like an exorbitant amount of confidence. So yeah, it's a joy to have Jack around and start taking over the locker room with these Aussie and Kiwis.
Ben?
Jock, how much better physically do you feel going into training camp this year relative to this time a year ago?
Dude, it's yeah. I'm glad you asked that because it is completely different feeling this time last year, and I don't think I gave it credit last year where I was at this point. I was like, I'm good, like everything's great, and it just wasn't. So yeah, I feel back to myself. I feel as though I put in a lot of good work, and it's the benefit of having the Olympics is you're able to put in that good work, show that it's kind of paying off, and then kind of continue to stack on top of that. So yeah, I feel miles better this time around compared to last year. Finally did a bunch of testing today and it was like off the charts compared to last year. So I'm really happy with where I'm at physically. It was a long road to get back to this, but yeah, pumped about it.
Brian?
At what point last season did you finally feel that you were comfortable in this system? It seemed like when you first started out, you were, just trying to get used to everyone. But at what point was it where you finally found your footing on the court?
Yeah, like we were just saying, it wasn't so much about not fitting the system. I think for me, my job is so simple: screen, run hard, rebound hard, and the rest just kind of takes care of itself. And so it wasn't really a matter of like getting comfortable with the system. My body just was not able to keep up with the level of play, and there were times where I was looking at myself in the mirror being like, dude, if this doesn't fix itself, like this is bad. So thank goodness I was able to kind of get it back into the right place. But if you're talking about, my body as far as when did I feel as though I could get back to the level of play that I kind of showed you guys that I could do at the end of the season, probably around about the new year, like January, I was feeling good. I was playing well off to the side, which nobody ever sees, but like I was testing back at where I was at physically, just the instinct of not having really done anything in 8-9 months was back. The team was just kind of set in stone at that point, and they liked what they had going. So that was just kind of the situation that was at hand, and thankfully I was able to kind of dig myself out of that and make sure that I was able to show that, hey, I can still do this, and then really put the nail in that coffin at the Olympics, where I felt like I really showed that I was back to what I was. So yeah, I feel as though it wasn't so much just the system of play, it was more so the physical, and then like mentally, man, I was in a gutter, like I was in a real bad spot just because I was concerned about the ankles, concerned about, you know, where I was at with the contract and the body, and there was just a long list of things that I wasn't really able to pull myself out of. Luckily, I have a great group of people around me. I have a team that cares, coaching staff that cares, and they were kind of helping me through all that, and yeah.
Being part of a center rotation with Alfred Sengun and Steven
Yeah.
Adams, do you feel like that's one of the best center rotations you've been part of? And how is it going to benefit your game to be able to play against guys like that in practice every day?
Massive. I mean, they're two blokes that are starting centers in the NBA, plain and simple, Steven and Albie. So, you know, that's an interesting dynamic for sure. But you look at where we're at. I believe I'm one of the best backups in the NBA, and you know, fortunately we have three of us that are pretty damn good. So I have no problem saying that they're, you know, a few steps ahead of me. But yeah, you don't look around the league too much and think we got problems at that position comparatively. I think that the Rockets have put together a phenomenal center spot. And so being able to go up against each other the past couple of weeks, it's like, it's kind of been like a sink or swim type feeling, or iron sharpens iron, whatever you want to call it, where it feels like we've all taken steps. I think that, you know, for Albie being where he's at in his career, which is like, he's on the precipice of being one of the best, being able to kind of get like a different look at that position to defend against, one that's probably a little more mobile than me, and then one with Steve where it's like you got to do your work early and really, you know, put some lumber on this dude. So I've seen growth in him just these last couple of weeks, and then Steve just being who he is, bringing that physicality for me is special as well. Being able to like go up against them is, you got a guy who's super skilled, speaking for myself, a guy who's super skilled in Alpi that I get to play against, and then a guy who's just like a real bulldog in Steve, or a grizzly bear I should say. So yeah, it's been a challenge, it's been fun, and I think that we're all going to grow because of it.
Thank you, Jock.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Cheers guys.